everyone, and welcome back to the XD Daily Creative Challenge. As always, I'm so excited to be here with you guys live in the Adobe studios. And it's a really beautiful morning, truly, in San Francisco. It's nice and sunny. Let's see who's joining us today. Hi, Marianne, Mitch, Louie, Raphael, Vikram, Anel. So nice to see you, Nicholas, Jenny, good morning. All right, so today is day number 3 in the challenge, but before we get into day number 3, I just want to quickly go over what the XD Daily Creative Challenge is all about and the different ways you can participate. So I'm just going to head on over to my computer screen. And as you can see, this is the official landing page for the Daily Creative Challenge. So just go to behance.net/Daily Creative Challenge to see it. And essentially, the Daily Creative Challenge is a really great way for you to learn the basics of UI UX design with Adobe XD in 9 challenges. So right here, the first thing you're gonna see is a registration button. So be sure to hit that, and you will be notified on your desktop when a Daily Creative Challenge has begun. And you can see this if you go into your top menu bar here and then click the Creative Cloud icon. And then if you click the bell, this is where you'll see your notifications. So just quickly, I'm gonna scroll down. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is, of course, make sure you have Adobe XD because that's the app we are using for this challenge. And also be sure to join our Slack channel. So I'm gonna give you a quick tour of that, but just gonna quickly scroll down below a little more. And as you can see, all of the challenges are right here. So just in case you maybe missed day number 1 where we, designed and prototyped a personal finance app, or even day number 2 where we designed and prototyped a local landing page, definitely feel free to watch a replay of that. And as with all of our challenges, there's also a downloadable XD file that you can get. It's a template, and it'll get you, started a lot easier with the challenge. So just gonna quickly go back and let's go into our Slack channel. I'm just gonna give you a quick tour of it. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is go to this URL to join our Slack channel right above me. And then once you sign up, first thing you're gonna wanna do is introduce yourself. So tell us your first name, where you're from. There's people all over the world. It's super exciting to see so many people joining us. Also in the announcements channel, this is where the Daily Creative Challenge will be posted, as well as the downloadable XD template. So definitely check that out. In the design feedback channel, if you want some feedback on your designs, post your designs here. We have some mentors that will be giving you very valuable high-level feedback on your design, so definitely take advantage of that. And finally, in the Help General channel, this is where if you have maybe a more technical question, post it here and you will get your questions answered. So that's just an overview of our Slack channel. In Behance, so for this challenge, we are using the keyword XD Daily Challenge. So I'll show you at the end how you can, publish your prototype, but right now we're using the keyword XD Daily Challenge. So just before you hit publish on your Behance project, hit the discoverability tab and use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. And that way we can find your work. Everyone in the challenge, you can see your work. And I also like to feature some really great designs live on the show. So speaking of that, yesterday for day number 2, we designed and prototyped a landing page, a local landing page for your city. So I just want to feature some really great examples of that. So this one is by Soins, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And you designed this really great local landing page. Love the colors. Yellow, that's a really nice color. I think that's one of my favorite colors. And this is a really nice design of Seoul. So this is really great. Gonna appreciate your project. Great work. And here is another example of a local landing page by Nicholas. And this is a really great take, I guess, on the challenge. And this is actually an interactive prototype, so as I click these drop-down buttons, there is more options revealed, so that's really neat. All right. Okay, so glad to feature your work live on the show. Again, be sure to use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. Let's get started on day number 3. So I'm just going to head on over to the XD file. So this is what the template looks like. So today, for day number 3, we're going to design and prototype a newsletter subscription experience for a website. And some of the tools that we will master in this challenge is overlay. I'll also show you how you can use CC libraries, Creative Cloud libraries, shapes, assets, and there was a recent update in Adobe XD called time transition. So we will be seeing how that works and applies to today's challenge. So as always, on the left-hand side, we have some inspiration that inspired today's challenge, suggested color schemes where you can be as creative as you'd like in terms of the colors you choose, and of course, additional resources to get stock photography and also profile photos just in case you need it. Okay, so for time's sake, I already added the content that I want for today's challenge, so I'm just gonna head on over to that. And as you can see, I've added a logo. So I guess the concept that I went for this challenge is a fashion website. So I have my logo here in this top menu area. I also have some menu links, a subscribe link, a little search icon here, and I also have a title. So this is kind of like a fashion blog. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to add the primary color that I will be using throughout this screen, and it's a nice gold color, I guess. So just going to go into the menu. Oh, sorry, looks like I'm in prototype mode, so I'm gonna switch over to design mode. And I'm going to apply that color to our subscribe link. Okay, so now that I've done that, this, I guess, bit of content right here, this is an article. So in this circle right here, this is where I want to put the author's profile photo. So I actually have a folder of a bunch of photos. It's from Diverse UI, and it's one of the additional resources in today's template. So I'm just going to open that folder. And there's a bunch of photos of a very diverse group of images. So I think I will pick, let's see, who's gonna be the author of this? Let's choose her. Just gonna drag and drop it from my folder right onto this object. And there we go. So I also have some photos that I got from Adobe Stock, and they're all in my Creative Cloud library. So to access that, I'm gonna press Command-Shift-L on my keyboard. And these are all the photos that I selected to be used on this site. So the first photo I will use, this looks like an article about New York Fashion Week. So I'm going to select this photo of models walking on a runway. And I'm just going to select it in my Creative Cloud library and drag and drop it onto this object here, this rectangle. And there we go. So this is the featured image for this article. And finally, on this left-hand side here, this area, this is actually a repeat grid. And if you're wondering how you're able to use the repeat grid, just gonna quickly ungroup this. But let's say you have an object and you want to repeat it and turn it into a grid. All you need to do is select the object, press Command R on your keyboard, or you can go into the Property Inspector and select the Repeat Grid button here. But I like shortcuts, so I'll press Command R. And now this is going to be a grid, and you'll know that by pressing or dragging this green handle here, and it repeats the object. So really neat feature that you can use for many different scenarios on your screens. Okay, so in order to edit this or to add photos, I'm going to double click into the repeat grid. And I actually have a gradient as a way to, it's actually a gradient. So what I did was I duplicated this object here. It's the gray rectangle. I pressed Command D to duplicate it. And then I went into the fill color here. And then I selected this drop down here and I selected linear gradient. Reduced opacity to 0 for this point here. And then for the second point here, I set opacity to 76% and it's black. And this just makes it easier to read the white text. So I'm just going to drag and drop 2 photos onto this grid. So I'll select this photo and this photo here. And I'm just going to drag and drop them like so. And we have some nice photos here. Okay. So this screen is done. So I'm just going to move on over to the actual pop-ups. So first thing to note, I actually have a drop shadow on this white object here. That way, because this is white, so we want it to pop just ever so slightly. So what I did was I selected this object here, and in the Property Inspector, I just enabled or selected Shadow. And then I set Y to 3, Blur to 6. And I also extended the size of the artboard. That way, if I want to use the overlay in prototype mode, it will show the drop shadow. So really quickly, let me demo that for you. So the artboard, usually it's gonna be the same size, but to show the drop shadow, all you need to do is select the artboard and just extend it. So super easy. Okay, so I'm just going to add a photo in this left object here. So I'm going to press Command-Shift-L to open Creative Cloud Libraries. And I'm going to select this really cool photo and drag and drop it like so. And I want the sign up button to pop, so I will add this really nice gold color to the sign up button. So all I did was I just duplicated this first pop-up to create this thank you, I guess, transition once we've signed up. So again, I'm just going to add the same photo here. And there we go. So this looks really good. So we have our home screen and our pop-up screen. The first thing you'll see once we sign up, it will take us to our thank you, I guess, design. So I'm gonna quickly show you how you can use time transition to create this pop-up subscription newsletter pop-up. So I'm just gonna switch on over to prototype mode. And with the home artboard selected, I'm going to wire it to this first subscription pop-up. So now when you wire it, there's a drop down that says trigger. So I'm gonna select time. And I'm gonna set delay to 2 seconds. So transition will be, or the action will be just an overlay. And I want the animation to be dissolve, easing to ease in out, and duration to 2 seconds. So really quickly, let's see how that looks. And you might need to tweak settings just ever so slightly. Okay, so there we go. So it pops up. I think it's a little fast, so I'm actually going to increase delay to maybe 4 seconds. Let's see how that looks. I think that's much better. All right, so now let's say, it pops up and we've signed up. Let's see how the thank you screen would transition. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select the subscription pop-up and I'm gonna wire it to the thank you screen here. So I want the trigger to be a tap. Let's see how that works. And I want the action to be overlay. And for duration, I'm going to set it to 2 seconds. So let's just see how that works first to make sure it looks good. And if not, we will tweak it to see. Let's see. Okay, so I think that's okay. Let me just do that one more time. Waiting for the pop-up. There it is. And when we press enter or sign up, okay. I don't think I'm a fan of it going away and then coming back up, so I'm going to tweak that transition again. Let's set it to the trigger to time, and we'll reduce it to 4 seconds. Or sorry, this is the delay. Okay. Gonna reduce it to 0.2 seconds. Let me quickly take a look. Okay. So I'm gonna change this back to tap, and I'm gonna set duration to 0.2 seconds. And let's just preview that again really quickly. So waiting for it, and then once I tap it, there we go. So it has our thank you screen. I think this looks good. And yeah, so this is how you can use time transition. This is just an example of how you can use it. There's many different instances or other instances you can use this. Let's say you want to maybe have a demo for someone that's using an app. There's just so many different great instances you can use this feature, this new feature. So yeah, so this is today's day number 3 challenge where we're designing and prototyping a newsletter subscription pop-up. I'm gonna quickly show you how you can upload this to your Behance project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to select the home artboard. Let me go back to design mode, and I'm gonna select this sharing icon. I'm gonna hit publish prototype and create public link. And right here, this is where you can copy and embed code. So I'm gonna select that. And I'm gonna jump back to my Behance project. And if you select this icon here where it says embed media, all you need to do is press Command V or just paste that code into this area here. Click embed. And you can see your interactive prototype. So I'm just gonna save this here. If this is your first time creating a Behance project, if you're participating in this challenge, be sure to hit the discoverability tab or just go into settings here and use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. Again, that way I can find your work and feature it live on the show, and everyone who's participating in the challenge can see your work and provide feedback. So just gonna save that here. All right. So just a quick thing that I noticed in the challenge, if you're adding a prototype to your Behance project, sometimes there's a lot of padding that displays like the first time you add an interactive prototype. So just make sure you select, or when you're hovering over that prototype, click this icon here and it's going to remove the padding, the default padding that is surrounding the interactive prototype. And that way it shrinks it down and it just looks a lot nicer in your project. Okay. And also, if you are wondering where you can get additional icons for your screens, there's actually free UI kits that come with Adobe XD. So all you need to do is go to File, Get UI Kits, and you can select from a range of free UI kits. So with Apple iOS, there's icons for that, Google Materials, Microsoft Windows, and some really great wireframes that you can download for free. Okay, so that wraps up day number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see your designs in the Slack channel and on Behance. Really quickly, just gonna take a look at today's schedule. It's a full day of Photoshop design, or Photoshop with Temi at 9 a.m., 10:30 with Shauna Lynn, at noon with Jake, and at 1:30 with Riza. So super excited, definitely tune in for those shows. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow for day number 4. I'll be on the Slack channel after the show. Yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.